Coach, after watching the film, what was some of the things that you all think you can improve on?
Our spacing for sure. There were times where, their switching hurt us, but there were times where we could have attacked and got to more driving kicks instead of pull-ups because our spacing wasn't good enough. So we went over a lot of the spacing today. We went over some execution stuff, and then the defensive end, we just need to be in the right spot at the right time.
Essentially, if that's the right word, are the driving kicks to what you want to do offensively?
Huge, because that leads to us sharing the ball. It leads to guys getting more opportunities and less play calls, and it's just a better way to play. Driving kicks, it's the right play for the right person at the right time, as opposed to, okay, now we're going to go to Jalen. Okay, now we're going to go to Eric. It's more based on what the defense is doing. So guys like Jabari and Eric can benefit from us playing drive and kick more than they do when we're making play calls.
So how did it go in 8 days from Orlando with drive and kick and then an extra pass and then another to last night of not many?
Yeah, that's a good question. I kind of don't want to use, so I told the team this, I don't want to overreact to last night, right? Like, we played a bunch of good games that we were in that we probably should have won a couple more than we did, and then we had a clunker last night, and I want to show and teach from that, but I don't want to overreact and say, oh, now all of a sudden we're not doing what we're supposed to do, because we did it. If you would have talked to me before the game, we were doing it, and now after the game, we're still the same team.
Coach, you've been in the league for a very long time, and you've seen a lot of the ups and downs. How do you keep a veteran player like Eric, from being frustrated, especially going through a rebuild process like this?
It's hard. I mean, it's not an easy answer to that question. There's a lot of communication that goes into it. There's a lot of thought that goes into making sure that play calls are made and making sure that everybody else understands that he's on the floor. And it's just a lot to it. But it's a hard spot for him to be in, for sure.
You seem to be some pretty significant frustration last night. In general in the season, how do you think your team has handled when things aren't going their way or they're falling down?
Well, yeah, overall, I think last night was the first time in 13 games that we've seen frustration like that. So, like I said, I'm not going to make too much out of it. I'm going to note it for sure, and hopefully it doesn't become something more than a blip in the road. But, yeah, we have been very, very resilient when it comes to adversity so far.
What has been your view of the overall pace of the game? You guys want to play fast all the time. How have you seen that pace up and down?
I still want us to fast break more. I do. I want us to get up and down the floor more. I want us to have options ahead of the ball more. I want us to be more of a fast break team. But that means playing better defense. That means getting more rebounds. That means getting a few steals here and there with active hands. But yeah, I mean, our pace, I don't know where we are in pace. We're usually right at the top 10 or whatever. But I want to be more of a fast break team. I think that's when we're at our best with Jalen and Scoot and KJ flying and everybody just kind of having fun out there.
When you look at some of the defensive stuff, some of the turnovers that have crept up, how much of that is just a tribute to not having Jay-Sean?
A lot. He is one that helps everybody on the floor play well. And that's a very good point. There's times where we kind of let him be the point guard, and his man is playing all the way off of him, and he's a very good decision maker, and he can make the little handoffs or keep and go and make the right plays. So although he's a third-year player, he's a vet for us and experienced guy who sorely miss on both ends of the floor.
How much does he really just settle things down for you on both ends of the floor?
He does. It's funny because I forget who asked me the question last night. Who is the person that I kind of go to when things are kind of, tough on the floor? And he's one. I didn't mention him last night, but he's definitely one who I miss having conversations with during the game, or the one who kind of pulls the guys together at the free throw line and gets them, organized or right, or calms everything down. So yeah, we miss him in so many different ways, but that's a really good point.
Kevin talked about trying to fill that void with JT missing time. How have you seen guys kind of step up, either in different leadership capacity or whatever, in the time that he's been missing?
Yeah, so Scooter's done a good job of being positive with the group. I think we've all seen him be a lot more even keeled than he was in the past 2 years. And he's trying to step up into that leadership role. Eric as well. Eric does it in his own way, as far as more by example and less by talking, but he's another guy who we lean on for that. So everybody kind of has their role in it, and until JT comes back, everybody's going to have to kind of step up and do it a little bit better. And hopefully that leads to, when he comes back, everybody feels a little bit more emboldened, and we have a more together group.
Did everyone practice today?
Everyone practiced today except for JT, and Ty and Trevor are in RGD.
So did Bruno practice?
Bruno was in and out of the drills, but we didn't do anything 5-on-5, so